Champions League nights are back at Anfield, guys, and it's another game where the boys did the job. 5 consecutive wins in all competitions, and 6 points from 2 Champions League games, with RB Leipzig being our next opponent in Europe after the international break. But let us stick to this game right now. It's not always you get to score 2 past a high-pressing Italian side at Anfield, right? Not to stir any bad memories, but we all remember what disaster we had against Atalanta last season. Now sure, Bologna is no way near that level, especially after they lost the top manager like Thiago Motta and some key players in Joshua Zirkzee and Riccardo Calafiori. But that doesn't mean it was going to be a walk in the park, especially with the game plan they decided to implement. From the unexpected game plans both teams implemented to the clever change that sealed the game to our favour. In case you missed the game, or if you want an in-depth analysis on key moments of this match, hit that like and subscribe button and let's jump straight into our video. So after the Wolves game, we asked you guys a question to know whether you wanted Slot to rotate his side against Bologna or not. The majority were in favour for some heavy rotations like the West Ham game. However, it looked like the gaffer didn't want to take any risks and literally put in his strongest first 11. It's the same one that started the majority of our Premier League games, except for one change. Alisson started in goal, Konate and Van Dijk at the heart of the defence, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson at fullback. The midfield trio remained the same, no surprise, with Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister at the pivot, and Dominic Szoboszlai ahead of them. The trio up front consisted of Luis Diaz, who May thought he would have got a rest, Mo Salah on the right, and the only change being Darwin Núñez starting his 3rd game of the season instead of Diogo Jota. This video is sponsored by Manscaped, the global men's lifestyle brand that is revolutionizing the world of men's grooming. Today, we want to take a specific look at the Lawnmower 5000. With the Lawnmower 5000, Manscaped have taken grooming precision to a whole new level. First, the upgraded trimmer blades features longer, wider, and rounded teeth that cut through hairs with ease. Tough on hair, yet incredibly gentle on the skin. Say goodbye to those endless passes. It's all about getting it right the first time. And now let's talk about illumination. We've all been there, navigating those tricky spots with nothing but hope and prayer. But fear not, because Manscaped has heard our grooming cries and answered with a bigger LED light. Those hard-to-reach areas, consider them perfectly lit and ready for their close-up. The Lawnmower 5000 Ultra from Manscaped is not just an advancement, it's a revolution. Join the 10 million men, including myself worldwide, who've put their confidence in Manscaped for all things grooming and hygiene. If my math adds up, we're looking at around 20 million balls here. Head over to manscaped.com and get your hands on the Lawnmower 5000 today. When you use my promo code LFC20, you'll get 20% off and free international shipping at checkout. That's 20% off plus free shipping with promo code LFC20 at manscaped.com. Trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you. Anyway, let's get back into the video. So right from the get-go, Bologna's intentions were clear as daylight. Press high and in a man-to-man fashion in order to force Liverpool to go long. Now, considering the managerial change the Italians had, and with the poor start to their domestic campaign, we were surprised that this courageous tactic was what they went for. Let us be honest here with you. We were expecting the guests to come with a low block and defend for their lives to at least get a point. But we were totally wrong. From the first minute of the match, you can see how Bologna lined up in a 4-4-2 shape that transitioned into a 4-2-4 with strikers pressing our centre-backs and also shadow marking our double pivots. However, after a few simple passes between Konate and Van Dijk, it appeared that bypassing the Italians' line of press is going to be much easier compared to what we saw against Atalanta last season. Because, as you can see here on the screen, with a simple pass towards Gravenberch, both Dutchmen were able to break the opposition's lines and carry the ball forward. Now, we wish to tell you guys that this sequence was done time and time again throughout the game, but unfortunately it didn't. As minutes passed by, Bologna's pressing got higher and more intense, giving the Reds limited space and time on the ball to build up in our own area. In fact, you can see here, Bologna forced us to lose the ball 16 times in our danger zone, with 7 possession loss leading to a shot. Fair play to the Italians because their game plan nearly worked. Now look to the other side of the picture where we forced Bologna to lose the ball 32 times. Now you'd think that we did that through our pressing, right? Well, not exactly. See, similar to the Wolves game, our pressing out of possession structure were not that good to keep it friendly. The initial pressing line was passive and we were only jumped aggressively when Bologna started to circulate the ball in their deeper areas. Meanwhile, while the ball got played through the first line, the double pivots and the back line either didn't follow up the press or had big distances between them, which made us vulnerable during transitions. That's something that we highlighted against Wolves, and we hope that Slot and his staff would fix soon because against tougher opponents, such situations might prove to be costly. But let's go back to the positives, shall we? Now we said back to the positives, but many of you think this is a bad thing, so hold on to your seats. See, in order to bypass Bologna's pressing, Liverpool had their most direct approach in the Arne Slot era so far. See, Alisson attempted 26 long balls with Liverpool averaging 35.4 metres in goal kick lengths. Sure, many of us would have loved to have seen us build through the phases and slowly progress the ball, but if there's an easier solution by targeting the likes of Nunez with long balls, so why not take that simple route? Now don't get us wrong, we're not saying that Nunez was prime Drogba in this game, winning all those aerial duels. However, what happened next was what's important. See, we told you earlier that we forced Bologna to lose the ball 32 times in their danger area. And guess what? This is thanks to the long ball tactic we adopted. Now, while we don't have the exact statistic of the number of times we won second balls, but we are positive that's a very high number. This brings us to a certain player, Dominik Szoboszlai, the second ball monster. Sure, the Hungarian has been under scrutiny lately due to his goal drought and limited offensive contribution, but seriously, can we expect a player to cover every blade of grass, initiate the press and jump at every second ball to then go on and make the perfect choices when in possession? The work Szoboszlai has been doing without the ball lately has been crucial in not only helping Liverpool be more solid defensively, but also create dangerous chances too. Now mix Liverpool's long ball strategy with Szoboszlai's dueling ability and you'll see how we scored our first goal. 30 seconds separated between Alisson's long ball and Szoboszlai's high regain, and while so you can see it happen during that time, it's easy to see how this strategy worked. The long ball helped us reach the opposition's half without any risk of losing the ball in dangerous areas. Sure, we didn't keep the ball then, but during those whole 30 seconds, Bologna were not able to progress the ball over the halfway line. That's when Szoboszlai's work off the ball paid back as he managed to win the ball and initiate the sequence that led to McAllister's goal. Now it's safe to say that the rest of the game has been rinse and repeat of the same patterns. Go long to bypass the press and then try and win the ball back higher up the pitch. It was a Klopp performance, no doubt about it. However, a clever substitution from Arne Slot helped us score the second and relieve the momentum the Italians started to gain. See, with all the focus on using Darwin as the target man, it was time to change things up in the second half with Diogo Jota coming on for the Uruguayan. Why? Well, let us explain. See, unlike Darwin, Jota knows when to drop deep into the midfield when teams are pressing us in a man-to-man fashion. And perhaps he would have been a huge weapon to use against Atalanta last season if he was fully fit. This kind of movement causes confusion to the opposition's players, creates space for Jota, and for his teammates to exploit at the same time. Yesterday he showcased the ability almost immediately by dropping deep into midfield to unleash Szoboszlai with a first touch pass, but it didn't end there. See, our second goal was vintage Mo Salah, the cut inside, the powerful left-footed curler, and Trent providing the overlapping run to take a man out for the Egyptian king. It was an absolute beauty from start to finish, but let's focus more on the start. You can see here how, unlike Darwin, Jota was lurking deep into the midfield areas, acting as an extra passing option for his teammates, and that's exactly how the second goal was created. The Portuguese dropped to the halfway line, received the ball on the half turn, and carried it forward before passing it to Szoboszlai, who got the assist for Salah's wonder strike. It was a clever move from Slot to disturb Bologna's structure after over a minute of long balls targeting towards Nunez before dropping Jota as a false nine to link between the phases, which eventually got us the second goal. Now, could the performance have been any better? Of course, we have to say it, we're not totally convinced, especially with our inability to control the game with and without the ball. However, it was safe and a clever approach from Arne's slot to go more direct rather than attempt to build through Bologna's high press, which eventually got us the 3 points after the game, ending substitution of Jota. So what did you think about our performance? Was it job done and 3 points in the bag, or were you expecting a more dominant performance from start to finish? Do you share our thought about how Slot needed to improve our defensive structure? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to check out our channel sponsors Manscaped by going down into the link in the description and using promo code LFC20 at manscaped.com at checkout. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.